Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well in today's exciting episode. Oh my gosh, look at all the fabric that I still have. I feel like I spent a lot of this year making layer cake dresses using up loads of fabric. Clearly not.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So I once again used up a lot of my sewing time finishing the beading on the Lobster jacket. I will show you that because I ran out of beads and I had to go searching for more. So that was fun. But yeah, and once I'd done that, then I took a break from that damn Lobster jacket and I got out all my fashion fabrics that I'm going to use to make jackets. And well, actually that velvety looking one there is an interior design fabric, and but yeah, they're basically all the fabrics that aren't tweeds that I'm going to use to make jackets. And I've got some felt, because the felt ones, basically when you do make beaded necklaces, you use felt as the background and then you just completely bead over it. So that's what I'm going to do with those ones. And the daisy jacket is a small jacket like this Lobster one here. And this is me just showing you that I almost entirely finished the beading except for this one section. And I just ran out of beads. Like, there were no more beads. I was like, oh, the bit to the left is very dense, more so than the rest. I was like, oh, should I just unpick that and spread the beads slightly more sparsely? But I went through some boxes and I finally found some purples and magenta colours. And I was like, oh, okay. So from far away, so I used true magenta and black in other sections, and these beads here are, if you look from far away, it looks the same, but if you look up close, you're like, hey, these are completely different beads, and they are, but yeah, it's sort of a Monet answer to a problem. But because I'm determined to just use up the beads I have and not buy more, so that is why I did it. And yeah. So I finally finished the beading. Oh my goodness, I never thought I would finish this jacket. Sometimes you're working on something that's really detailed and you're like, it's never going to be finished. But now that it is, it's quite cool. The amount of beads I have used up on this jacket is just extraordinary. And as I was searching around for those beads, I found like a handful more of the purple animal beads, which I really could have done with like a week and a half ago. But anyway, so maybe I'll make a matching purse or something. So once the beading was done, I had to check everything, which I did. And then it was time to pin the lining into place. And then I was too tired to do the hand sewing. So it's still sitting on the workbench, all pinned into place. And obviously I sewed the undersleeves and the side of the jacket together, hand stitched them, and then turned the jacket in the correct way, then pinned the lining down. And yeah, so I've got all these piles here. I'm basically dividing them into, some of them I'm going to turn into daisy type jackets. If there's just 1 yard, then that's not enough to make the Berta 6123 or the Vogue 7975, like, so more of a Chanel style looking jacket. So on the left here we have the smaller cuts, which are going to be turned into daisy jackets. And on the right here, well, this one, I hope some of them can be made into the Berta 6123, like the pink and white jacket, but they might only be big enough to turn into a daisy one. So I have to measure those bits. And the reason there's 2 stacks of daisies and jackets and 2 stacks for the Berta 6123 jackets is some of them have to have white structural layer, whereas the other pile can have, like, I have a lot of dark green as well as black netting, and fashion fabrics are quite thin, so it does matter what colour is backing some of the fabrics. Some of them, the lighter ones, you do need white, whereas these ones here will be fine with green or black. And two of those fabrics are for my Make 9 fabrics for this year, so I was thinking maybe I'll make them in December. Yeah, so if you have a desperate desire to see any particular ones made into jackets, let me know, because I do want to make several of these into jackets before the end of the year. I was a bit concerned that I've got two green and black fabrics in my daisy pile and two in my Berta 6123 piles, but I love green and they're going to be all beaded differently, so I don't particularly mind. As long as I don't make all four of them up in a row, I think it should be fine. And yes, this is me reminding myself that I need to iron them before I cut them. Well, I have a very clear idea for one of the fabrics, so I'll definitely be doing that one. This is me showing you that, yes, the daisy jacket is beautiful. I'm kind of obsessed with it, so that's why I want to make so many. It's just really easy to bead when when you leave it flat and you can do all the sequin work on the top of it. Because when you try to do sequin work on a 3D object, oh my goodness, because you have to hold an anchor bead with one hand and you have to use the needle and thread with the other hand, like, how do you hold the fabric as well? So it's just really good to have it flat. So anyway, I bought this cookie jar and I promptly filled it with beads, as you do. And I've decided that I'm going to use this fabric and those beads. But I did a little thing about it, so I'll show you that now. So I have this quilting cotton. I bought it earlier this year. And when I got out that box of red beads, there were some pink, dark musky pink ones in there, dusty rose ones. I was like, I might use them on the pink and blue and white jacket. I'm going to make a jacket out of this fabric. And then I was looking around in all my other beads for some more beads because there's not quite enough in that bag. And I found these two packets of pale, sort of lighter blue ones. And I could probably make the whole jacket just with the lighter blue ones. I might do a design feature on the back to use them up or use them in little squares. And I also have some big daisy, hot pink daisy sort of bead things they're left over from the Barbie jacket, the hot pink one that I did earlier this year. So I might use them on the back. And there's not enough for the whole of the design feature, the triangle, but if I mix them in with other hot pink ones, there should be enough. Or make a little garden in all different colours. I think I've got some pale blue flower shaped beads. That one there is periwinkle, and I do kind of think periwinkle looks nicer with this than these pale blue ones, but I don't know. I don't have any tweeds that really match these pale blue ones. I did have lots of tweeds that match those colours, but I've already used them and I ended up using beads, but not all of these blue beads on them. So these are just pretty much all the leftover pale blue beads. So I might use them all up on this and then and that way I'll have the periwinkle blue ones for tweeds, which I do have tweeds that will go with the periwinkle blue beads. And they're just a sort of a purplier pale blue. So I think I'll use these on this, but then this is me deciding that maybe I need a little bit of bright green in there. Well, it's not bright green. It's not pea green or anything like that, but yeah, and then I add in some pinks, and I like this a lot more. So then I went and scrounged around for some pink. They're sort of floral sequins there. So I think I might add some sequins in there as well. But yeah, I really like the pink. I think I've got pink, blue, and white seed beads. So I'll use up all the blue beads first, and then in the gaps I'll put some pinks and maybe a little bit of green. I don't know, maybe I should use the dark green like the stems of the flowers. We shall see. And then I found more of the blue, this sort of weird blue coloured flowers. So they'll probably be the feature, the triangle on the back now. Anyway, so that's what they're doing there randomly. And now you're up to date on all my sewing things. So there's still all this mess everywhere, and I'm partly organised, but I have to go hand stitch the lining to the lobster jacket. And I also have a box of fabrics that are synthetic fabrics that I'm going to use for lining those jackets. So I'm thinking maybe I should pair them up of which ones are going to be the lining for which fabrics. We shall see. I'm just going to go finish the lobster jacket and actually finish something. And then once I've done that, I've just realised I'm going to have to clear some of this stuff aside so I can put the lobster jacket on a mannequin, aren't I? Oh my goodness. It's absolute chaos here at the moment. I'm going to go finish the jacket and then I will be back to, I don't know, play musical fabrics or something. Oh my gosh, hand sewing a lining in when the jacket has this much three-dimensional beading, extremely difficult. Extremely. Your thread gets caught on all the pins, all the beads, everything, every single time. Very frustrating, but it is now done. So I have to move this jacket. I'm trying to work out what beads to put on there. I was going to do pearls, and then I was going to do clear glass beads with an AB finish. And then I was like, I could do a mix of different things because the daisies that I use on the daisy jacket, they look white, but they're actually a pale mauve. And then I was like, I could use a mix of beads. I've got these gorgeous antique white pearls, and I've also got the mauve beads, but I'm going to show you the mauve beads with a different fabric in a moment. But anyway, here is the lobster jacket. Oh my goodness. The next time I'm just about to go and hide this one somewhere. I'm so over it. Yeah, I stacked everything in the corner. Spoiler alert, yes, it does all fall down, but it's fine while I film this jacket. But this lobster jacket, oh my goodness. And I love these sleeves. Like when I first made it, they sort of stuck out like weird puppy ears. And at the time I was like, trust me, it'll be fine once the weight of the beads is on. And yeah, they're just really, really pretty. And so, yeah, I wasn't going to do any more with sleeves like this because the sleeves are sort of all different angles. They look flat. They look sort of at all one height. But when I cut out the piece, it's this it's like a triangle with the tip chopped off, and once it's weighed down with beads, it looks good, but it looked really rough when I made the jacket. I was like, is this gonna turn out okay? And yeah. And the triangle on the back, I feel like it looks a little bit too high. So next time I might scooch it down a little bit so there's more of a sort of border between the back of the neckline and the top of the triangle. So I guess I'll just have to make it smaller or a more squat triangle perhaps. But this jacket looks like a mosaic. It looks like you're wearing a mosaic. It's absolutely amazing. I've never quite done beading like this before, and I love how effortless it looks, but oh my gosh, the amount of time this took was I was not at all planning to invest this much time in one thing, especially one that doesn't look glamorous. Like if you're using incredibly expensive beads and everyone looks like a gem, then you're like, whatever. It doesn't matter how much time I invest. It's still going to look $1 million. But this one, this is me telling you I have one orange seed bead on this jacket because I obviously sewed the hem up and I used a sort of bluey purple thread. And on one of the lobsters, you could see the actual thread. So it annoyed me so much because I guess I spent so much time on the jacket that I eventually just put one seed bead over it. The rest of it, you couldn't see any stitches. There was just one stitch that was visible. The rest are all invisible. Anyway, so here is some footage. You can tell it's about to topple, can't you? Anyway, so then I was deciding, I had the brilliant idea that instead of trying to figure out which fabrics to do next, what I'll do is figure out which beads I want to use, and then I'll make the jackets that I'm going to use them on. So I pull out a few of the fabrics, and what do you know, the rest all topple down. So here we go. I've already showed you that Harlequin square one, and then this one, it was really grayish, this fabric, but then I put some green transparent beads and some purple transparent beads on it, and it makes the magic. This one, it's got these weird white ghost flowers, and I decided to just sort of lean into it. So that's going to have these white iridescent sequins on it. The gold is going to have gold. The green, I've got enough for 2 jackets. So one of them is going to have green beads over the white dots, and the other one is going to have these black flowers over the white dots, because I don't really like the white dots. I love the green. But yeah, and this is going to be, I think this is going to be my gingerbread house jacket for this year. And I've got a fabulous way of beading it, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. Actually, I did when I did the red beading one. I told you I was going to do those red sequins so that they look like baubles. Anyway, so I'm going to do the baubles, and I'm going to hang down these other sort of candy looking bits in front of the baubles. It's going to be fabulous. And this fabric is a quilting cotton with all different flowers on it. Some of the flowers I like, some of them I don't like. So I'm going to put bead flowers over the ones I don't like, and I've got loads of them, so I'm going to stack them with like 3 different beads in each one, sort of like the Barbie jacket, but I'm mixing lemon, apricot, yellow and orange ones in there. It's going to be quite cute, but it's not going to be very full of beading. So that's not going to use up much of those beads. So with the rest of the beads, I'm going to put them on the Very Hungry caterpillar fabric, and in the white bits, because I don't particularly like wearing white, but I love this fabric because it's such a cute little book. And I'm going to put all the flowers in around, like in the white bits basically. And then on the back, I'm just going to have it totally floral, but there's going to be a triangle, a feature section, and I'm just going to use all my food shaped beads in the food section. Is going to be fabulous. And that's going to be the daisy type jacket. So it's going to be a relatively small jacket, but it's going to pack a punch, that one. And it's probably one of those ones that I'll wear to kids' birthday parties because it's just going to be so cute. Anyway, yeah, that's it, I think, for this video. I haven't really achieved anything. I finished doing some beading. I sewed the lining into a jacket and put it on the mannequin, and I made a mess with all these fabrics, which I haven't ironed yet. I think I'll iron them, and then I'll decide which lining I'll use pair with each fabric, because you sort of need to see the real design rather than a crinkly, so that you get what I mean. Oh, I kind of do wish I could do all the green ones. Maybe next year I'll have this year I sort of had a movie for the theme each month, and last year I had a colour per month, and that was so much more fun. So I think I'll go back to doing that. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I finally finished my lobster jacket. I'm very excited about this. So anyway, next episode will be a jacket. I keep saying that, don't I? Well, I did technically finish a jacket this episode. Ooh, so many jackets to make. Plus all the tweed ones. My life is so rich and full. Okay, I so have to make some of the green fabrics up. Have I mentioned recently that green is my favourite colour? It's totally my favourite colour. I love green. Anyway, going now. Happy sewing and beading.